Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is C.J. Anderson Wu. C.J. Anderson Wu is a Taiwanese writer who has published fiction collections about Taiwan's military dictatorship from 1949 until 1987, titled White Terror, Impossible to Swallow, published 2017, and The Surveillance, published 2021. Her third book, Endangered Youth, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Ukraine, has been launched in April 2025. Her works have been shortlisted for a number of international literary awards, including the International Human Rights Arts Festival and the 2024 Flying Island Poetry Manuscript Competition. She also won the Strands Lit International Flash Fiction Competition, the Invisible City Blurred Genre Literature Competition, and the Wordweavers Literature Contest. We are reading a few of her poems that she submitted to us through the form at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called The Daughter of a Political Dissident. After 7 years, 11 months, and 3 days of fleeing, we finally knew where you ended up. The pure white shirt brought to you for the last day of your life has gradually decomposed in the earth. A shrub of red flowers burgeoned and bloomed unstoppably over the blood spurting from your chest, serving as your headstone that couldn't be erected. Your skin, hair, muscles, and bones eventually became a part of the commemoration of our time of struggles and the grave price the history has charged you and us. Father, I imagine you, at the last moment of your life, wearing a growing red flower on the chest pocket of your pure white shirt. No regret, no fear, because you knew the blossoming of your blood is unstoppable. Father, I imagine you, wearing a growing red flower on the chest pocket of your pure white shirt, brought to you for the last day of your life, your immortal profile. This poem is called A Poetry Found in the Chest of a Dead Soldier. I flip through the bloodstained brochure while they dig your grave. Should I bury you with your poems, or keep them for your prospective readers? Did you write them for someone? If I keep your poetry and I'm killed, will I be buried with it? He who was living is now dead. We who were living are now dying. Should I add my poems on the blank page, so the proof of our ever being living? Will it be relayed? Will I be buried with our poetry, or will our poetry be kept and passed on with a little empathy? This poem is called Undelivered. The first time I encountered my daughter was when she was excavating the earth, burying me. My daughter was born after my death 60 years ago, which means she was 60 years old, almost double my age when I was killed. I had christened her Alyssa while my wife was pregnant. Following my passing, my wife remarried, and Alyssa's name was changed to Amaryllis. Amaryllis didn't discover much of me, just the bone of a finger and a fragment of my skull. Without a headstone, she couldn't even be certain that they were my remains. Over the past 6 decades, my body has naturally decomposed. Beside me, a banyan sapling has matured into a large tree, but uprooted by a tropical cyclone several years ago. Though its roots were unearthed, its aerial roots continued to grow from the slanting trunk, reaching out towards the soil with less rocky terrain. That's how my existence unfolded over the years. The tree roots enveloped me, sharing the air and raindrops that soaked into the soil. My body gradually vanished, merging with the tree roots and the earth below. My daughter gathered the scant remains of me and reinterred them in the hometown of our ancestors. Though unnecessary for me, I am grateful for her efforts, as well as those who endeavor to uncover our history. On the same site, there were still many of us unrecognized or unclaimed. I hope they have rested in peace. At night, our spirits became poetry recited by the chorus of cicadas, rustling tree leaves, and rippling streams under starlight. The justice we had pursued wasn't delivered until now in our wordless last will. This poem is called Spring Counteroffensive. After absorbing the water from melting snow, grass and flowers germinate. Chamomiles, white clovers, agrostes, poppies, cornflowers, ribwort plantains, mallow, apple blossoms, and guelder roses, their names overbrim my page. Pallas's gull re-emerge in the wetlands. Dalmatian pelicans come back to nest. Moor frogs mate by the swamps, and bush crickets return to the meadows. We'd lose some companions during each advancement, but the counteroffensive must be achieved before we become too few. Some of us would be buried here, while some of us would be able to unite with their beloved. If you are the ones bringing my parents news about my departure, tell them I have no regrets. Some of us will live on in the memories of others, and when forests are thawing, flowers are blooming, birds are chirping, tadpoles are swimming, I will be remembered, and every spring is my counteroffensive. This poem is called For a Lady Pursued. Part 1. There is no bouquet. There is no candlelight. It is about freedom, freedom of movement. There is no perfume. There is no precious stone. It is about freedom, freedom of thought. There is no music. There is no wine. It is about freedom, freedom of expression. There is no dance. There is no party. It is about freedom, freedom from fear. There is no poetry. There is no rhyme. It is about freedom, freedom from being silenced. Part 2. There is no freedom. It is about poetry, poetry of thought, poetry of free speech. There is no freedom. It is about movement, right to leave and return. There is no freedom. It is about bouquets in memory of persecuted human rights advocates. There is no freedom. It is about candlelight vigil for victims resisting the totalitarian regime. There is no freedom. It is about unintimidated walkouts for personal beliefs or public values. There is no freedom. It is about perfume, tear gas in the air. There is no freedom. It is about precious stones found on the streets to be cast to police rounding up armless protesters. There is no freedom. It is about unlawful arrests and trials and unjust incarceration. There is no freedom. It is about a dissenter being pursued for the rest of her life. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.